Thank you all for making it tonight. We're really excited to be hosting this talk tonight. We're in for a really very, very big treat. Tonight's speaker is one of North America's leading experts on nutrition and health. He's recognized for his endless positive energy and vitality. He's a formulator of Greens Plus, he's an author, he's a nutritional researcher, and an overall inspirational person. So if you can all please help me in welcoming Sam Gersey.
Thank you. Well, while Lynn's here, Tyler, can you come up, please? You know, years ago, as you shopped at Thrifty's, you would have come across one of the managers of the health section was Tyler and his brother Brady. One day they said to me, we would like to start our own little store. What do you think about that? I thought, incredible. So Tyler and Lynn began this, then Brady joined them. And they started off, the inventory was pretty meager. Their enthusiasm was enormous. Their desire to give the best information possible was enormous. Their enthusiasm, motivation, creativity of what they wanted to do was just spotless and superlative, those kind of words. I was in awe of them for what they wanted to do. They didn't want to start a business. They wanted to start something that was so essential for our well-being that they could deliver it right here in Victoria. So I'd like to really congratulate them, because knowing them over these years, they've maintained a certain high standard, and that is in the information that they give out, in what they believe in, and what they sell in. It's not a business, it's a passionate opportunity for them to share everything they know, and they are willing to learn constantly also. They're always upgrading themselves, going to courses, doing whatever they may be doing. It's quite amazing. So let's give them a round of applause. Please. Just to begin, I'd like us to take one moment and just bless the space between us. Just bless the space between us. Instead of being separate, just bless the space between us. Just take a deep breath and bless the space between us. Tonight we're going to be talking about something so essential to our survival on planet Earth. We have very ancient biology and genes, very ancient, thousands of years of age, trying to survive in an environment that we have today. So sleep, energy, libido, mood, attitude, enthusiasm, how to ward off diseases, even if we're experiencing cardiovascular disease or cancers, what to do about them, how to survive well. And it's not just about food or supplements, but there's a mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, and physical component. And it's not enough to do one of them anymore. It's just impossible to function well at any age. At any age, it's impossible to function well by just trying to master one aspect. We have to now open up and become alchemists. The word there, alchemist. An alchemist is somebody who participates and makes something a little better out of all the ingredients they put together. So today we have to be alchemists for our own well-being, for the sake of, on planet Earth, being good stewards of the Earth, being good stewards of each other. I'd like to begin by introducing my fiancée, Kara. Cool. There's a lot of people here. She's my hatha yoga instructor, and so I call her my yoga master when we do our yoga, and respect her greatly. So I've asked her to start off tonight because can we do a few perhaps open breathing exercises, open chest, open heart exercises, to be receptive, to be good receivers, right, in what we're going to do. The first sheet, 10 keys for increasing robust energy. The second one is very, very important. It's 14 pages, an excerpt from a book that Kara and I are writing. Very extraordinary new information that we'll touch upon that you need to know about. very practical information. So we'll be touching upon this at the end, but make sure you have these just to follow through. It'll be up here on the screen also. Oops.
Over there?
Sam, is that what you're looking for?
Thank you. Now that everybody has those, if we can just begin, thank you very much. I just want you to look at the first few words that I wrote here. I want to help you make good, sustainable life decisions automatic. We no longer need confusion, nor do we need complication. There are some basic fundamentals that we must master because of the design of our biology on planet Earth. These are not things that I am suggesting. This is what we get from our research and what every human being must master. Number one, drink more water today than yesterday. Water is the universal solvent in our body. It dissolves, it excretes, it cleans. It's like having a power wash when you wash your car, a power wash when you do your deck. Water does that indiscriminately within your body. The best waters possible are water clusters that are structured. And where do they come from? Fruits and vegetables, sea vegetations, herbs and spices. They are already in water clusters that are organized and structured the way that the body was intended to take water. When you drink water, H2O, it has to reformulate in a molecular structure so it can be absorbed. So if we can get more fruits and vegetables into our diet, along with herbs and with water, we need to consume, it depends, everybody's a little different, 6, 8, 10 glasses of water. I'd like you to do something, and that is this. Is anybody a Reiki healer, a massage therapist here? What do massage therapists, Reiki healers tell me? People who drink sufficient amount of water, they're more fluid, more pliable, more elastic, more flexible. People who don't, structure is firmer and harder. It's drier. Just like when you go away and you leave a plant and it has been watered for 4 or 5 days, and you come back, the constitution of that soil is firm and hard. You just put a nice cup of water in it, bank it, tell it it's going to come okay, the soil becomes moist again, pliable, becomes livable. Life comes up and the plant responds to it. So we need to be thinking more of water. Here's our problem today. We confuse thirst, almost everybody, and we eat when we're actually thirsty. We confuse thirst today with hunger. So what I'd like you to do is put into practice tomorrow. Every time you feel hungry, drink a cup of water, a glass of water. If you have the opportunity, put a little lemon in it. Lemon or lime or apple cider vinegar, matter of fact, in water is acidic in your mouth, citric acid, but it forms potassium citrate in your stomach. It's alkalinizing. Just rinse it off your teeth. So if you have lemon or lime and you put it in water, just take a mouthful of water after, rinse it, and swallow it. So practice tomorrow drinking more water by automatically, as soon as you feel hunger, substitute it for drinking some water, regardless of your age. What we find out in the aging process, when we see that we start to become dehydrated, we lose the structure in our face, which is 82% water. Your skin is 82% water. The collagen underneath it is 80% water. So if there's anything that I want to do to maintain, it's not spend something expensive or do some Botox injections. It's beauty from the inside out. It's simply hydrating, bring enough water to plump everything out. So please be conscious of drinking water. Some people say, but if I drink more water, I have to pass more water. Yep. The law of nature. Yep, it's the law of nature. Do not abstain from drinking water because you think you might have to go to the washroom more. That would be a huge erroneous mistake. Huge. You are 75% water. I am 75% water. After oxygen, the most important nutrient we can get in is water. Seniors do not want to drink water after a while. We found out that after the age of 65, our thirst declines. We literally have to train ourselves to re-drink water. If you find that you've lost that sense of thirst, train yourself to drink water. And if you have to go to the washroom 15 times a day, please do it. That's just natural. If you avoid drinking the water, your immune system won't function well. You can do everything right, and a good case of cancer can pop up. A good case of cardiovascular disease can pop up. A good case of skin eruptions can pop up. Constipation can pop up. Or diarrhea, depends. So, simple water is not simple. It is a living, loving force with life force in it, as is oxygen, a life force going through our body that we need constantly, and we eliminate it, we need to bring it back in. Number 2, move more today than yesterday. Watch less TV and less screen time. In the morning, when the sun rises, it is blue rays that you get through cryptochrome cells on your skin, cryptochrome, or your optic nerve. Those blue rays are in what we might call circadian rhythm. Circadian is the rhythm of the day. We have light and we have dark. We have hormones that are secreted at different times of light and dark phases. We need to be in synchronicity with them, or we miss out on the ability to really function well. Example, in the morning, those blue rays come from the sun. Let's just say they hit your optic nerve. It sends a little message. Get up and get going. Produce. Defend yourself. So it makes a hormone called dopamine. And dopamine is a hormone that literally gets you up, gets you alert, and gets you going. It also produces a little bit of cortisol. Cortisol tells you, hey, be a little cautious. So you don't just go running across the street with your latte in your hand. You actually might look for the cars coming each way. That's cortisol's job. A little bit of cortisol makes you alert, attentive. Dopamine makes you get up and go and want to function, produce, create, and be enthusiastic about it. If you expose your skin or your eyes to those blue rays in the morning, you get them free of charge. If you don't, remember, we weren't created to be in buildings. We were created to be outside more. So try to get yourself outside for 5 minutes every morning. Try to get yourself at least near a window or something that's open, and allow, no matter if it's a gray day, a snowy day, a rainy day, those light rays are still coming through. Just expose yourself a little to nature as much as you want to expose yourself, and your body, without you even being aware of it, is getting a lot of dopamine and the right amount of cortisol. So you're going to function. And it is not caffeine you need. You get used to doing this. It is not caffeine that you need. You'll find that you are emotionally, physically uplifted, ready to go, and a little bit surcharged. If you do then the breathing that Kara was talking about, oxygen and water are two of the producers of energy in our body. You need sufficient water to hydrolyze, break the molecule. Oxygen comes in to help do that, just like we make electricity from waterfalls. Water comes down, we break the molecule, we hydrolyze it, we make electricity, hydroelectricity. We do the same thing. We're hydro producers. So we need sufficient water, we need sufficient oxygen. So do some deep heart breathing. Why? Gratitude. Best thing we can do upon breathing in the morning, gratitude for being alive, gratitude for being here, gratitude for this opportunity to learn and grow. Pure gratitude. Do not take your life for granted. Do you know how hard it is to get life? How hard it is to get life. Kara and I were looking at the full moon the other night, 2 nights ago. You probably were looking at it also. When you look at that full moon, it's 250,000 miles from Earth. That's very significant, because you know what it does? We're sitting here on planet Earth. We are spinning around once every 24 hours. We're also spinning around the sun. There's no sunrise or sunset. It's us moving. And we're whizzing through space at an unprecedented rate where we've never been before. Planet Earth right now is where it's never been before. 5 minutes from now, it'll be where it's never been before. This is a whole new frontier. We then can't take it for granted that we're just little blobs sitting here wondering what to do. we're in the midst of some kind of miracle or creative aspect that did not happen. It is happening now. We're in the middle of creation. It's not, didn't happen, and we're free riding along. It is happening. We need to be co-creators with what is happening and be totally aware of that. So the moon. The moon is 250,000 miles away. It gives just the right gravitational push on the Earth that the water doesn't fall off as we spin around, that you don't fall off as you spin around. But more importantly, the little bit of oxygen that green vegetation makes stays in this very little mantle that we breathe in around, or else oxygen would just go off. So when you see the moon, bathe in it, thank it, be in gratitude. Without the moon, we're all dead instantly. We'd float off the Earth, water float off the Earth, everything float off the Earth. Then the sun is 63 million miles away, the perfect distance to put a little bit of heat on the Earth so water doesn't boil off, evaporate, and it doesn't freeze. It stays liquid. On top of that, it heats up the soil perfectly so microbes can grow in the soil. As microbes grow in the soil, roots can then feed off microbes, turning stones into minerals, turning dirt into proteins. Miracles. Plants are making oxygen and photosynthesis. Now let's go one more moment to that balance. Just want to see, drink, move on to sleep, breathe. want to change that. We're going to talk about that. Oxygen and breathing in another step. So, we're drinking our water. We're moving more today than yesterday. We are designed, when we look at the biological process of the body, we function best at 14 to 18,000 steps a day. That's what we actually were designed to do. In order to get food originally, we did a lot of caloric work to find food, to gather food, to hunt food, to get water, to bring it back. Today we're in a real dilemma because you just open the cupboard or refrigerator. You do not need to expend energy to get an enormous amount of food. Very dangerous. We used to spend a lot of calories to get our food, and then we had a caloric balance. Today we don't spend the calories hunting, gathering, finding our food, but we can open our fridge or cupboards up, and there are an enormous amount of foods. Why is that important? In order to survive, we're going to talk about us as a biological system. Our brain is imprinted to eat. Why? When your great-great-great-grandfathers and great-great-great-grandmothers were on this earth, and there were no stores and there were no farms, they were programmed to eat. And eating was not an easy thing to do. You had to do a lot of work to find food. You had to hunt, you had to gather, you had to move. It took a lot of work. Whenever we found food, we ate it. Whether it was animal source or vegetable source, or it was a wild berry, or it was a bark of a tree or a leaf of something, or a wild green that was growing. We did a lot of work to get that food, and so that impulse in our brain to eat has never changed. It's still there today. The impulse to eat is there. That's our survival. But now we're in a modern environment where there's too much food, but the impulse in the brain is still to eat. Now we have to talk about greed and what we do with food. And how much food do we need? And how do we bless our food? And how do we eat our food? These are things we need to master. Instead of just eating, impulsive eating, blessing food, thinking about food. People don't have food. What is my share of food? How much food should I eat? Conscientious decisions that we all have to make today. Do not take food or eating for granted. Number 3 is make fewer processed food choices today. They are appetite stimulating. A phrase I made up, appetite stimulating. What is appetite stimulating? Our impulse to eat is called our appetite. You have a natural appetite to eat. But when we bring in food colorings, when we bring in food enhancers, when we bring in taste enhancers, when we bring in sugars and artificial sweeteners, all those alcohols do you think are calorie-free, whenever we bring those in, they actually stimulate our appetite. And since food is so easy to access, we overeat. We have to get back to natural foods that take a lot of time to chew, called single ingredient foods. Any that is single ingredient. An apple is a single ingredient food. You make an apple pie and you take a look at the list. Matter of fact, I went into a grocery store last week and I was looking at lemon pies, just out of the fun of it. Do you know Pledge that you do your furniture with? It has real lemon in it. You know lemon pies in grocery stores don't have lemon in it. You have to spray them with Pledge to get a little lemon in it. There's no lemon in lemon pies. Check it out. Then the next thing I did, very interesting, I took a look at box cereals in a grocery store. And there are several box cereals since blueberries and berries got popular. And they'll say, without saying the name of the companies, Blueberry Crunch. Blueberry, Grandma's Blueberries Squares. When you go into the ingredients, surprise, not one blueberry. There are 3 food colorings you combine. There's a way that you form sugar and you make it into a cluster. You then form the food colorings with it and it comes out blue and tastes like blueberries. So when we talk to these companies that produce them, they say, oh, we're not saying there's blueberries in there. It's all marketing. They call it blueberry something on there. They never say, they never claim to have blueberries in there. So deceptive marketing, we have to be careful in our urge to eat. So I get back to eat single ingredient foods. Lettuce is a single ingredient food. Tomatoes is a single ingredient food. Celery is a single ingredient food. Sunflower seeds are a single ingredient food. Try to make all of your food choices single ingredient foods. They might be combined in something, but they're all singular ingredient foods. It's the trick to survival today. All of those foods have a lot of fiber. They take time to chew, which takes calories, and that fills us up. It fills us up. We have in our fat cells a hormone that we produce called leptin. And when your diet is balanced, leptin is balanced. We have to be careful today because when we put on extra fat cells or extra weight, we get more leptin. And we lose our sensitivity to leptin. And leptin is what monitors our food. This is how ancient our system is. It is your fat cells monitoring what you're eating and how much you're eating to know whether to store body fat or burn body fat as energy. It's an ancient system in our biology, in our genes, that was a survival mechanism. We don't need it anymore. Example, your great-great-grandmother and great-great-grandfather, to get through inclement weather, to get through winters, to get through times of injury, needed to carry 20 to 25 pounds of portable energy called body fat. The body loves body fat. It's portable energy. There's nothing wrong with it as far as the biology of the body goes. It's a survival mechanism. So to get through long winters and inclement weather, we all have the propensity to put on 25 or 30 pounds. It's built into our genetic structure. But today we don't need that. So we have to be careful that when we start to overeat a little, more leptin is secreted, and leptin says eat. You can't defy leptin. It says eat. We've all had those experiences when we just eat, when we don't want to eat. We might not even want to eat what we're eating, but we eat it. Because the biology, our ancient biology, is saying eat. It wants that extra body fat. The 2 ways that we can balance leptin. One is exercise. There are 3 ways. 2 is good nutrition, and 3 is proper sleep. Deep sleep, proper exercise, and good nutrition all balance leptin. You don't crave. You stop that craving process. Number 4, sleep longer and deeper. The number 1 medication sold in the world today is sleep medications. Please do not use any sleep medications. They don't help you. They injure you tremendously. The idea of sleep is to cleanse all the functions that happen that day, whether it be in the brain or the body, to renew, regenerate, restore, revitalize, so when you wake up in the morning, you're ready to go again. It is not sleep we need, it is darkness. Let's go a little further. Your bedroom or wherever you sleep should be D-A-R-K, as dark as you can. If there's any light coming in, it might be from a little machine, it might be a little blinker, it might be a night light. What does it say to your ancient biology? A little bit of light says, be up, be awake, be vigilant. You might have to protect yourself. Don't fall asleep. It is only when the room is dark that your pineal gland and other glands pick up the intensity of light and they say, gee, it's dark. Take the chance to go to sleep. Everything else in nature is asleep. What does your dog do or your cat do? What do wild animals do? They burrow, they cover, they get as dark as they can. We do not find cancer in bears or moose or rats or mice. We only find cancer in domesticated animals put in barns or houses in which lights are left on late into the evening, and we ruin their circadian rhythm. We were intended to go to sleep when the sun sets and rise when the sun rises in the morning. That's the part of circadian rhythm. When we stay up later at night, we get ourselves into big trouble. We mentioned about the light. I want to bring it in right now. Who has an iPhone, a smartphone, something just right here? Can somebody just hand me one of theirs? Somebody with a bank account on their face. Thank you very much. Is that a 4?
Yeah.
Mine too. They're good enough. Any form of screen gives off blue light. All manufacturers of computers, of television, of laptops, of iPhones, iPads, smartphones know their technology. When you put this in front of you, it gives off blue light. Now let's go back again. What did we say? When you rise in the morning, you give from nature blue light. Blue light says, get up and get going. I'll give you the hormone to do it. Nature says called dopamine. I'll give you the cautionary hormone in small amounts called cortisol. The combination of dopamine and cortisol arouse leptin, and they say eat, fuel, get ready. That's all a process. Congratulations. When you use this, any of these screens, after 7 o'clock at night, we are supposed to get red. As the sun sets, whether you know it or not, you're picking up red light, red rays. Red rays say, calm down, let's make serotonin. Let's relax, let's bring the system down, let's balance everything, let's feel good. We don't need to go to extremes, we don't need to get stoned or drunk or be abusive, sexually abusive. We can be calm, we can be loving, and we can be kind. Serotonin's job. It only comes when red rays hit the pineal gland. Then, serotonin cascades as it gets dark like now, it cascades into melatonin. Melatonin puts us fast asleep from what the yogis call the third eye, the pineal gland, puts us fast asleep, but more importantly than that, this is a story, just follow the story, more importantly than that, melatonin lowers your body temperature by 2 degrees. You chill out, you last longer, the fires of life can calm down. Melatonin is the best antioxidant for your brain. If you want to keep your mental acuity, your sharpness, melatonin does that. All comes free with following circadian rhythm, so enter these. Blue light in the morning, get up and go, eat, dopamine, cortisol. Pink rays at nighttime to make serotonin first, called your mood modulating hormone. If you have enough serotonin, there's no depression. If you have enough serotonin, there's no anxiety. If you have enough serotonin, you feel balanced and you're ready to take on all the challenges that are before you, regardless of what they are. You're just ready to do them. That's serotonin's job. And then serotonin cascades into melatonin for all the things that melatonin do. But we'll talk about sleep in one moment, but this. So you put this in front of your face after 7 o'clock at night, what rays are we getting? Blue rays. And what do blue rays say? Make some cortisol, which is at nighttime called stress. Make some dopamine, which says get up and go and eat. So what do we do in the evening time? We start to munch. And these cause the munching. All the calories we don't need, all the foods we don't need, because we have a refrigerator and a cupboard, and we can just eat, open them up and eat. So these become actually dangerous after 7 o'clock at night. For myself, yourself, or any of us. If you're going to use them, keep them at a distance from yourself. Those blue rays are counterproductive. And who orders pizzas? You order them at nighttime. Who orders Chinese food? You order them at nighttime. When do we go in the refrigerator and eat ice cream and things like that, or coconut ice cream, or whatever you might want to eat, vegan ice cream? We do it in the evening because the rays of light we've got mixed up. I want to mention two things about sleep. It is not sleep we need. Please listen. If you cannot sleep, do not use sleep medications. Please do not. They're counterproductive and they don't put you into deep sleep. They just numb you. You lose all the effects of the antioxidant in the brain, of lowering your body temperature, and you set yourself up for a nasty case of cancer. Sleep medications. Very dangerous to use them. There is melatonin, sold here at Health Essentials. There is GABA, an amino acid. L-theanine, which is taken from green tea. Passion flower, hops. There's a whole number of them. Magnesium bisglycinate. These are all natural ingredients that block receptors to what we call glutamate. Glutamate is the excitatory activity in the brain. When the brain is overthinking, overacting, and you can't sleep, it's because you have too much glutamate. So you take a sleeping medication to numb you, but you haven't got rid of the glutamate. It's still there in one form or another. But all the ingredients I mentioned I marked down: melatonin, GABA, L-theanine, passion flower, hops. It goes on and on. They're relaxing. They cause a relaxing neurotransmitter to be formed in the brain that causes hyperactivity to calm down. Natural process. So we can do it naturally. But it is still not sleep we need. So research done at the University of Pennsylvania. One group was allowed to sleep in a bed with a little bit of a nightlight on. Another group sat up in an easy boy chair like the three of you have back there, comfortable all night, in pitch darkness. In the morning, all their hormones were tested. The good folks who were sitting in the easy chair in darkness all night, in the morning, all their hormones were reset. They were ready to go. It is not sleep we need, it is darkness. In the dark circadian part of the night, we renew, restore, revitalize, and regenerate. So if you can't sleep, get up. Don't fight it. You can't fight it. Go into a nice easy chair. Just make sure it's dark somewhere. And relax. Meditate. Pray. Meditation and prayer are no longer optional for calming our system. They're mandatory. Whatever way you would like to do them, they're mandatory. So employ them to keep calming the mind. You can use the natural ingredients, but also take the time to calm your own system. Pray for others. Prayer is efficacious. It sends out, it's a magnetic field. Everything in the universe is a magnetic field. So when we pray, when we send a good intention, when we think of another, if we send a good vibration to each other, it's a magnetic field that we're initiating. Healing happens through magnetic fields. We operate through magnetic fields. The universe operates through magnetic fields. Our mind and our brain. So sleeping can be the same thing. Put yourself in the good magnetic field. Think positive thoughts. And if you're not sleeping well and you're not sleeping deep, quit fighting it. Quit taking sleep medications. And don't fight staying in bed tossing and turning. Just get up and sit in a comfortable chair. Lie down on a comfortable couch. Do whatever you can. Make sure it's dark. Breathe deeply. Breathe consciously as Kara got us to do. And you'll fall deep, deep asleep. Don't fight sleep, please. So breathe deeply, stop stress from ruining your day, laugh a lot. We said serotonin is mood modulating. Laughing is the only natural way, smiling and laughing, to increase serotonin. Serotonin is our only mood modulating hormone. If you are depressed, if you are indecisive, if you have anxiety, if you have worry, if you have fear, if you're not sure what you're doing, if you can't figure problems out, it is because we are low in serotonin. We can increase serotonin just by laughing. It's free of charge. We do not need antidepressants. We need laughter. We do not need antidepressants. We need smiling. Because they naturally make serotonin. The beautiful thing here, it doesn't matter if it's real or if it's phony, serotonin is made. In other words, let's say I genuinely want to laugh. Up goes serotonin. And if two people are laughing, it begins to roll and they feel better. And people come around them and they feel better. It's serotonin. But I can raise my serotonin by laughing and smiling, even if I don't want to. And serotonin increases anyways. If you stand in front of a mirror and you're feeling shitty, and you're feeling bluesy, and you don't feel good, and you just force yourself to laugh as an experiment, serotonin levels go up. So it doesn't matter if it's genuine or not. It doesn't matter. Congratulations. It doesn't matter. Serotonin can increase just by laughing. So expose yourself to a little laughter. Some funny things if you'd like to, some funny movies, some funny jokes, whatever it might be. Phone up somebody who makes you laugh, but just laugh on your own. I'd like to ask Elvira, we have a company. I live on Salt Spring Island. We have a little research company called Gracie Research. We avoid toxic hunger. Just yesterday, I got this magazine, Scientific America. Very, very significant, world-renowned research that they're bringing forward. I've been following it for a while, but finally got published for the first time. And it basically says this. They took 4,000 people working with psychiatrists, with psychological conditions, from the tendency to take one's life, to depression, to schizophrenia, it went on and on, psychosis, neurosis, etc., anxiety. And they decided to split them into two groups. One group got psychiatric drugs and psychiatric counseling, stress reduction. The other group, they decided, let's just teach them good nutrition. No psychiatric drugs, no psychiatric treatment. The results are astounding. The group that just got pure nutrition, so the best diet for your brain, 60% of all the ailments evaporated. Returning to them was only 4%. Only 4% of them returned to the condition they had. But 60% of the depressions, the anxieties, etc., just evaporated. So our brain is an organ. Now, brain has to be fed properly. And we need to understand what our brain is and how it feeds and what it doesn't feed on. So you can get a copy of this Scientific America, $4.95, $5.95, whatever it may be. It's on the newsstand, just came out 2 days ago, 3 days ago. It's extraordinary. We have to learn the nutrition of our brain. Because if we keep our brain functioning, I as a researcher for the last 20 years have been saying, you keep your brain 99% intact till your very last breath on planet Earth. Researchers laugh at me now. We understand the elasticity of the brain. And if we keep it that way, the brain can function perfectly until your last breath. We don't need dementia. We don't need Alzheimer's. We don't need forgetfulness, moodiness, lack of remembering. All that mostly is self-induced. So, eat, drink, and shrink, avoid toxic hunger. Phrase I made up, toxic hunger. What is toxic hunger? Toxic hunger is when we get the craving to eat food because we have our leptin sensitivity, which comes from generally eating too many sweets. So our blood sugar level should stay pretty well even. But as we put sugar into it, our body learns, and almost everything today that is processed turns into sugar. Our body learns to get quick, easy energy from that. It doesn't do any hard work. Your body is meant to burn body fat to get your energy. Your body is meant to burn body fat to get your energy. Your body is meant to burn body fat to get your energy. You put sugars into your bloodstream, your body says, well, who wants to do all that hard work?
Yeah, that's right.
Busting down fat, hard work. You lose weight just busting down fat. And so the body says, whoa, look at the bloodstream. And it just takes the sugars, whether it's from dairy, whether it's from grains, whether it's from sweeteners, whatever. What is the worst sweetener in the world?
Sugar.
Agave syrup. Don't ever use it again. It is so deceptive. Agave syrup. It's up to 90% fructose, the most dangerous of all sugars, for getting into your kidneys, causing all kinds of spillage, fat particles that get into your bloodstream that then just start to stick. The worst of all is artificial fructose. An agave syrup is a complete hoax. Complete hoax. Just a complete hoax. So it's a sweetener you want to stay away from, causing tremendous amounts of health problems. Unfortunately, the drug cartel has learned that you make liquor from it. What's left over, you squeeze it out, you get a juice from it, and they've successfully marketed it as a sweetener, a natural sweetener. Very, very dangerous. Don't ever, ever bring it into your system. Number 7, validate your viewpoint. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Let your healing light shine. I was just in Toronto giving a talk, and there were about 1,500 people in the audience, mostly dressed in black. Funny, you go to Toronto and places like that, people are dressed in black. So predominantly black. People were just sitting there like this, like that.
Bay Street.
Yeah, Bay Street. And I thought to myself, I got to do something. So I started to sing. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Nobody budged. So I went over to a woman in the front row, and I had a little cup. I said, this little light of mine, And she didn't sing. I said, whoa, this is not a solo. This is not a solo. We have to not be afraid to let our light shine. What's there to be embarrassed about? We get so used to being cantankerous, to being moody, to being serious. Who said that's the way to go by any ways? Who said we should be as moody as we generally are, or as down as we tend to learn to be? You know, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Dr. Lolly Formaggio, can you come up for a moment? I've asked her to join us tonight. She came from Argentina. She's done a phenomenal job, so she's so dedicated to healing. But what she has done herself, and what I've done myself, we're not pain-free, we're not symptom-free, we're all here together, right? Just because we're researchers, we do something, doesn't mean that we just got a free ride. There's no free rides for anybody at any time. But we can change our attitude, we can put enthusiasm, motivation. So congratulations, what she did to heal herself is out of this world. Number 8, increase helpful endorphins, reduce nasty dynorphins. Endorphins are what make us feel good when we exercise, when we move. I'm going to ask one of my assistants from my little research company, Purnima, to come up, because, Purnima, come on up for a moment. Purnima teaches Tai Chi and Qigong, and she's a master. And Purnima, if I got one of the strongest men here to run an attacker now, you would be surprised you would end up against the wall. And it has happened. She teaches Tai Chi and Qigong, but she knows how to use energy, and instead of attacking, she uses your energy. And I've had males attack her, and they end up against the wall. She uses their energy, throws them against the wall. I've asked her to come to give us some demonstration of Qigong as a calm response exercise that reduces cortisol, lifts up serotonin, and modulates many hormones through movement.
A quick definition of the word Qigong, it means the cultivation of vital energy. And it involves static postures, movement, breath, meditation, and self-massage. Tai Chi is a form of Qigong because it also cultivates energy, but it involves more choreography and so on, and then energy comes into it. But I'd like to invite all of us to do a little Qigong together. We're going to do something called Golden Ball, which is the 8 actions of Qi, and I'll just quickly demonstrate in a wide way. We won't have that much space, but we can still create our golden ball together. So we always take a sort of shoulder width stance, and the 8 actions of Qi: inhale, gather; exhale, the golden ball rises; inhale, the golden ball expands; exhale, the golden ball contracts; inhale, it rolls, it flows in; exhale, it flows out; inhale, it falls; exhale, you disperse the energy back into the universal field, and then you begin again. Inhale, and it's about working with this golden ball of energy. It's not only an external ball, it's an internal ball too, in the core of the body, in what they call the Dantian, which is a field of elixir and vital energy. So if you'd like to, I invite you to stand up, and we can work this golden ball just 2 or 3 times, just to get the feeling. So place your feet shoulder width apart, and drop into your feet a little bit so that your knees are not locked. And create a little space in your armpits. And feel the energy around you, like the thickness of the energy, and the feeling of the universal Qi that we're connected to through our individual field. And we're going to start right away, and we're going to breathe with it, and I'll say inhale and exhale along with the movement, okay? So golden ball, we're creating this golden ball of fire and energy. And so let's begin. So reach out into the universal field, gather, inhale, gather your golden ball And then the ball is in front of you and it rises as you exhale. Now you inhale and the whole ball expands. You exhale, it contracts. And you inhale and it flows in towards you. But you don't let it come too close. You exhale and push it out. And now your hands go under the ball. You inhale as it falls. And then you exhale as you disperse the energy back into the universe. And then you gather fresh energy. And it's feeding and nourishing and nurturing you. Exhale as it rises. Inhale as it expands. Exhale as it contracts. Inhale as it flows in. See it rolling in. Exhale, flowing out. Inhale, falling. Exhale. Deep exhale. Flow the energy back out into the universe. And it's fresh energy waiting for you. Create your ball again. Inhale. Exhale, rising. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Small little ball of tight energy flowing in towards you. Inhale. Exhale, push it out. Inhale, let it fall. And exhale, send it back out into the universe. And now, just raise your arms. We're just going to do a cleansing line, gathering all the energy of the earth, all the energy of the heavens, the yang energy, pulling down through the body, cleansing, settling, nurturing, nourishing. And for just a few seconds, stand quietly with your arms by your side and let everything settle deep within you. Filled with health and vibrant universal chi and joy and calmness and love. And closing.
I want to give an example, just within our little company, of all the diversity of ways we can use to heal ourselves. But we have 2 points. 2 last points. Then we'll open it to a few questions. 2 last points. I've got some CDs, Kara, of Alvira's music that she sang. Do you want anybody that wants one, complimentary? Can you just bring out? Just anybody that wants one of those? Take one of those, please. The last 2 points I want to bring up. You can use these pH papers. If you open them up, this is how we start off saying you can be an alchemist. If you want to know what's going on with your biology, there's only one way to find out, and that is what is going on internally. These little pH papers cost 5 cents a day to use. Regardless of your age, learn to use them. You simply open them up. There's a little pH paper inside. You can just open that up. You can just open it up, tear off a strip, and there's 2 things you can do with it. You can test your saliva, or you can test your urine. But do not put the strips in your mouth. You can spit your saliva out into a saucer and put the strip in. Your urine is clean and safe. Do not be afraid. Your mid-urine after you urinate it in the morning or at any time during the day, you can just, thank you, Karen. You can, thank you, Alvira, for making those CDs available. That was compliments of Alvira. You can simply take these little strips. Now, you're going to become an alchemist. And here's what you do. You take that little strip off there. You put your saliva into a little saucer, and you put this in, it'll turn a color, and it shows you on here what your pH is. If you're experiencing cancer, and you're juicing, and you're doing everything right, you're just way too acidic. Cancer cells cannot grow in an oxygen-rich environment, which is alkaline. We are meant to be in an oxygen-rich environment. That's why breathing works. That's why calm works. That's why music works. That's why opening our heart or breathing works. They oxygenate the system. And your hundreds of trillions of cells. If you start to get a headache, if you start to get bluesy, if you start to lose your energy before you run for a coffee, before you run for an anti-anxiety medication, before you freak out, before you scream, before you get mad, before you get angry, before you do anything that you do, rip one of these off, put your saliva and test it, and you'll find, whoa, I'm too acidic. I'm corrosive internally. If you're not sleeping, you're acidic. If your libido's down, you're acidic. If you're ill, you're acidic. If your mood is down, you're acidic. If you're not learning, you have mental acuity problems, you're just too acidic. We're meant to be alkaline. Alkaline is a free high. You don't need to get stoned, you don't need to get drunk. If you're alkaline, it's like, oh my gosh. Oh, colors are interesting, the vision's interesting, the experience is interesting because it's mood modulated, hormone balancing. You're designed to be alkaline. 90% of the people I test are too acidic. Stress causes acidity. Attitude causes acidity. If we're ill and we really want to think positive, please, we're into the last few minutes. Listen to this research. The University of Texas, Dr. John Berardi, who works with us, took a group of about 2,000 people. He took one group that had cancer. He took another group that was 80 years of age. He asked them each day they met for an hour. The group that had cancer, he got them just to sit. And they just said, my body is evaporating the cancer cells over and over again. The group that was 80 years of age, he just got them to sit and say, I'm going to talk today like when I was 50. I'm going to act today like when I was 50, not 2050. I'm going to think today like when I was 50. I'm going to sleep today like when I was 50. So at 50, you can do it as if you were 30. In both cases, mind over matter, positive feedback, rates of cancer declined enormously. In the group that was 80 years of age, everything from blood pressure to attitude increased dramatically. Do not be a sitting duck waiting for somebody to take care of you. Start to use your mind in your own healing, whatever it may be, now. Mind over matter. Employ and use your own mind. Upgrade your attitude, your enthusiasm, your motivation, yourself. You can use the pH strips to find out. These pH strips, if your mood is off, if your attitude's off, if your energy's off, if your diet's off, if your sleep's off, you're just acidic. So before you go to sleep, you might want to test it. After a meal, you might want to test it. Now, you might want to do it 3 or 4 times a day and take the average. That's a better way to do it because you're going to fluctuate. And you want to maintain a pH that's 7.36 is the dream come true. Rare. I don't know if any of us, including me, would be at that. There's so many factors we've got to balance today. But 7.36 would be the dream come true when you do your pH. In all my books, there's a lot of information about it. We'll give some of those books away. There's a lot of information about pH. Are there 3 people here? This book, chapter 6, goes into an enormous amount on pH and cancer and how to balance it. I'd like you to take that book, please. I've got 2 more. This book got into every medical school. A standard reading that I brought in. All my books are written on recycled paper, biodegradable soy-based ink. The Girl Guides plant one tree for every 100 books that are sold, and 100% of all profits goes to nonprofit environmental group. These 2 books are mind-body medicine. Mind-body medicine. Mind affects our body. One more for someone who didn't get one.
Right here.
And pH paper for those who want to start, somebody who didn't get one. Who balance your pH, please. There it goes. Balance your pH to do that. The last thing I want to mention, to help you with your energy, I make this product on the back of Alive magazine. Meticulously made like nobody makes a product. Handmade like nobody makes a product. Ingredients grown and sourced around the world like nobody else would do. Because I'm not a company. You met our staff. We're not a marketing, we're not a financial company. We're a health-oriented company. So we grow the best of crops in the world. We make our product in British Columbia by hand. The bottles we make ourselves are recycled. There is 7 clinical studies on Greens Plus. This one is Greens Plus Extra Energy. Free samples are downstairs. Do you know what a clinical study is? In the last 1 minute, I'll show you what a clinical study is. No product has clinical studies. A clinical study means a recognized university like the University of Toronto Medical School takes your product and does a study. It's on our website, Greens Plus. You just go to Greens Plus. This is a study from the University of Toronto, in vitro and in vivo, in human beings and in test tubes. What the results showed is that all the ingredients, the phytonutrients, the antioxidants in Greens Plus got into the cells of your body 82%. If you eat an organic diet that is precise and amazing, if you absorb into your cells 70% of the nutrients you eat, that's outstanding. 82% of all the ingredients of Greens Plus is designed. You cannot eat nutritious food and get the amount of nutrition that you can for $1.50 for a serving of Greens Plus Extra Energy. You get enormous energy and the nutrients. The real kicker is, you can download this from the website. There are 7 of these. This is one. 7 of them from reputable medical schools, not questionable universities somewhere. On page 6 of this piece of research, they discovered that Greens Plus got into the liver at such a precedented rate that it caused the liver to make enormous amounts of glutathione peroxidase. What is glutathione peroxidase? It's like a big empty transport truck or dump truck collecting all your garbage and taking it out. Do we need to cleanse? Dramatically. Do we need to cleanse? Constantly. So Greens Plus not only upgraded the energy, not only got the phytonutrients and antioxidants into the cellular structure, because it's not what you eat, it's not what you digest, and it's not even what you absorb. It's what gets into the cellular structure. It's all that's important. Nothing has ever gotten to the degree of absorption in cellular structure as Greens Plus, just one piece of research. And it made enormous amounts of glutathione peroxidase, which you could buy as a supplement, but you might not absorb it, and it would cost a tremendous amount of money. The very first ingredient I want to put into it is phosphatidylcholine. Phosphatidylcholine in your brain makes acetylcholine. There is nothing more important for you to take in as a human being than acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is like a braking mechanism. Stops you from stressing out, stops you from worrying, stops you from getting too drunk, or too stoned, or too abusive. It keeps us humane. It's how it works in the neural structure of the brain. Very first ingredient. You would pay about $25 just to get that amount from any other single supplement. So there are probably about $10 or $15 worth of supplements that you would get on a daily basis that you'd buy separately that are in your Greens Plus Extra Energy for $1.50 a day. And there's a piece of research here from the University of Eastern Michigan that's on the website. And they took all their elite athletes, 20 of them, they had them train without Greens Plus and then with Greens Plus Extra Energy. The results are dramatic. They extended their energy workout 18% longer, which doesn't sound like much. That's like if you got 2 or 3 hours a day extra energy for no extra work, for no extra output. And when you have that energy, you're burning body fat. So you're also reducing your body fat, plus getting an enormous amount of energy without the downside. The most important thing they found out in this piece of research is Greens Plus Extra Energy not only gave you the energy, but the antioxidants got into the mitochondria, the shell of the mitochondria that makes your energy. And we have a flaw. The very last thing I'm going to say, please understand this. We all have a flaw. The cells that make energy in our body are called mitochondria, whether they're in our eye, in our hair, in our heart, on our skin, or in our liver, in our prostate. It doesn't matter, in our breast. They're called mitochondria. As the mitochondria start to dysfunction, every other process starts to function. There's no such thing as cancer without mitochondrial decay before that. The more you exercise, for those that exercise hard, you're limiting your lifespan and you're ruining your life chances, because the more you exercise, the more free radicals you make, and those very mitochondria that make your energy self-implode and get destroyed. Professional athletes are not long-lived people. So we need to protect our mitochondria that make our energy. For the very first time, the University of Eastern Michigan showed Greens Plus Extra Energy got into the mitochondria, produced an enormous amount of energy, but also got into the cellular wall of the mitochondria and protected the mitochondria from oxidizing and breaking down. It's the first time it's happened in history that we've had research from that. So it's downstairs if you'd like to take a sample of it. We have 5 minutes for questions and answers from any of us here. Yes, nice and loud so everyone can hear, just so they can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to share an idea that helps me drink water. I have a cousin who's a nurse, and she worked for a urologist. Her boss told her that everybody should drink a glass of water first thing when they get up in the morning. And I've been doing that for 40-odd years. Before I even have a shower in the morning, I sit down with an 8-ounce glass of water on my table and drink it before I do anything else.
Now, if you add a little shot of lemon or lime to that, you actually cleanse your liver. That was cleansing all night long, little lemon or lime. Yes, nice and loud, please.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Common and probiotics. You have a
Oh,
probiotic.
probiotics. Greens Plus is filled with 8 kinds of probiotics. We grow it in Institut du Montreal in Montreal. It's the best probiotics grown in the world. They're pure 8 strains, so they adhere at different spots.
It's the Greens Plus.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Once you see, you're getting like, you'd have to do lots of different supplements. It's all in your Greens Plus. Plus, your Greens Plus is alkalinizing. Alkalinizing. We need the whole night just to talk about how to alkaline your system. When I see eyes, I see some eyes, and I see acidity, I see acidity, I see acidity, I see acidity. Learn to alkalinize your body. It's a whole nother venture into life. Our old culture's all alkalinized. Fermentation. When you ferment, you form alkalizing foods. So learn fermentation. Kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha. These are all fermented foods, right? Really good for us. So fermentation, a new food source that we need to use. Another thought. Well, thank you.
Sam, in regards to
Nice and loud so they can hear you back there.
in regards to melatonin,
Melatonin, if you take it sublingual under your tongue, no more than 25 milligrams, it'll be absorbed through the epithelial tissue into your brain. Don't swallow it.
what's the timing feature there?
1 hour before you go to sleep.
And I've heard that I've talked to a pharmacist saying that you shouldn't have anything more than 0.5. And
The least amount of any hormone is the best amount. The least amount is the best amount, so you have to experiment. But rather than even melatonin, magnesium, L-theanine, GABA, they form neurotransmitters that are anti-excitatory, without causing you to. They cause you to go to sleep, and they reduce excitement. So there are many ways to induce sleep naturally, but it's not sleep we need, a dark environment. We even need more than sleep.
what is the magnesium related to the magnesium?
Magnesium
the milligram?
bisglycinate, a form of magnesium that you would use. What form do you use, Lolly?
I use glycinate.
The bisglycinate?
Yeah.
3 molecules of glycine and an amino acid attached to magnesium. It just causes the brain to calm. It causes the muscles to relax in the body. It's involved in over 500 metabolic processes in the body. Almost everybody is low in magnesium. That we know.
What's the milligram reading?
500 milligrams of
500.
magnesium
Thank you.
before sleep. An hour before sleep. Passion flower, hops before sleep. In herbal teas works wondrous also. So as does GABA, as does L-theanine, an extract from green tea, calms. Use it during the day. If you have anxiety, L-theanine or GABA, which are available, I checked downstairs, can calm the system without any side effects. Nice and loud, please.
I have a spray, and I use the spray I put on my feet at nighttime.
Yes, you can use magnesium spray that's absorbed through your skin. Some people have great results with that also, because you can control the dose. And another, yes, nice and loud, please. Can we catch this? That handsome man right there. No, that's a woman.
When you're taking the Greens Plus, does it make a difference if you're more active? So I find that if I'm walking beforehand or moving around,
I'm not sure even how to answer that, to be honest. That's a complex question. In our nervous system, we have, what are the 2 forms in our nervous system? We have sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Greens Plus shifts you in its alkalinity to the parasympathetic nervous system. What does it mean? If anybody in here is going to die, you want to shift yourself into parasympathetic. It means you're aware. Sympathetic means you're on automatic control. What's ever happening is controlling you. You are not in control. We are almost entirely in our sympathetic nervous system. So what happens to us, moods, we get altered food, we get altered sleep, we get altered, somebody says something, whatever it is. we need to move more and more and more into our parasympathetic nervous system. It's in all my books. How to use breathing, how to use dance, how to use medical intervention, how to use Qigong, how to use exercise, diet, nutrition, music to move us more and more. That's what we were doing. Everything that you saw up here is moving us more and more into awareness and control, being an alchemist of not only the electromagnetic currents within our body, but of the hormonal excretions and hormonal receptors that are active in the body. You can be a very active participant in your own wellness at a very sophisticated level without understanding the sophistication, just by doing these natural processes. So we want to move more and more into our parasympathetic nervous system. Breathing, you're in control of your, and that's Greens Plus will move you more into the parasympathetic nervous system, regardless if you're active or not. Not quite answering it, but can you use it before activity or not? Subjective. It's just like having an alkalizing enormous amount of good nutrition in you. Ask it another way. Ask your question another way.
Well, I use another
Example?
I use another genuine health
Okay.
product, Active Fuel, and
Ac-
I find that if I warm up with it, then I feel like it's more effective rather than taking it and
Yeah.
going to try to use it on
Active Fuel has caffeine in it, correct? Greens Plus doesn't have caffeine. It alkalizes the body, brings oxygen to the cells to make the energy.
I use the extra.
So it's a different process. So Greens Plus will actually cause you to burn body fat to make energy. Active Fuel will just stimulate. Both good, just different processes. Different ways of going about it. Does that make any sense? Another question. Nice and loud. Nice and loud so everyone can hear, please.
Queen of England's mother.
Queen of England's mother.
She was, well, she died over 100 years of age, where she was a very old lady, and she drank Greens Plus for 15
Every day.
years.
Yeah.
15 years, Queen of England.
Yeah.
You shipped it to her for 15 years.
Yeah.
So now
It's
you
funny,
know,
a lot of
that's
the
your
old
answer.
rock and roll groups. It started with Randy Bachman from the Guess Who. I took 128 pounds off his body in 12 months, 14 months. So then he told Mick Jagger, and so Mick Jagger started, and then the Led Zeppelin before them. All these older rock groups started to make a tremendous amount of money, and they realized they were getting older, that getting stoned and getting drunk wasn't working for them anymore. They all got health conscious. I don't know why, but Greens Plus caught on with all of them. So it's interesting, the people that we send it out to. Yes?
One more question.
One more question. Yes, sir.
Just the pH
Please.
balanced water, so many different waters
Yes.
on there to drink water, you know, it should be, what, 7.5 to 9 along that line. I've heard just with even tap water or whatever type of water you want, spring water, just you can put a cucumber or lemon or lime, but just don't squeeze it because it becomes more acidic and less alkaline if you squeeze it in there to have it sit in there.
Water is probably the single biggest tricky item and one of the most difficult to understand because there's so many theories and differences in opinions in it. There are machines that make alkaline water. You can spend a lot of money making it. We only suggest alkaline water in extreme cases when somebody's very acidic, maybe for 3 or 4 months. We do not want to generally consume alkaline water over a long period of time. It's hard on our chemistry. The way that we are traditionally meant to make ourselves alkaline is through minerals that we ingest, not from water, from vegetation. So magnesium and calcium and potassium, they go into our kidneys where we make antacid sponges called potassium, magnesium, calcium, chloride. And so we make these that's the way we're supposed to get our minerals is from vegetation. For some reason, some people making money want to focus on water as a source of pH. It is vegetation. Now, water that is naturally from springs and from the earth generally has a pH of around 7.2. We talk about acid rain. What is acid rain? We've made so many sulfides and different kinds of chemicals come up from tailpipes and smokestacks into the sky that when rain comes down, rain mixes with it, and rain comes down with a pH of 3.5. Really acidic. That's why statues in Europe and old buildings get eaten away, as do we, as do cars get rusty. So we have made many of our waters acidic. And it's the problem in the oceans right now is that the corals are being slowly eaten away, and the coral is the source of the origination of life, where so many species of life come into the ocean. As the corals decline, because of the waters getting acidic, corals are made of calcium, and as they decline, they get eroded, so does much of what's in the ocean. And why is that a concern? We get our oxygen from vegetation. There's not enough vegetation left on the earth, so we need sea vegetation to add to what's on the land. As that decays from acidity, a long answer to it, from acidity, we're putting ourselves in jeopardy of getting enough oxygen to them, because we create a lot of carbon dioxide that also causes that to happen. But in photosynthesis, plants take in our carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. That alkalizes us. Breathing alkalizes us. Eating green vegetation alkalinizes us. We shouldn't necessarily use water as a source to alkalize us, although it's sold to us that way. More vegetation, juicing, eating green vegetation, Greens Plus, the strongest alkalizing agent in the world. The University of Toronto Faculty of Medicine found that raisins are the most alkalizing of all fruit, and spinach, organic spinach, is the most alkalizing of all vegetation. They compared Greens Plus to it. Greens Plus was twice as alkaline forming as the raisins and 30% more alkalizing than the spinach. It's on the website, Faculty of Medicine Research, trying to understand Greens Plus. So use vegetation to make yourself alkaline. Then drink the best water you have access to, without spending a tremendous amount of water trying to get alkaline water.
And the Himalayan salt sometimes, you know, to do
Yes.
just a spoonful in the morning.
You know, a few crystals, every time you drink water, put a few crystals of Himalayan salt in your water.
Yeah. 1/8 of a teaspoon in
1/8 of a
your
teaspoon?
water will give you electrolytes for the day or
Yeah, that's
just
what I've
throughout
been
the
doing.
day.
The
Good.
salt, you know, the
Yeah.
salt,
Himalayan salts.
yeah, just kept
No
in
sea
with the big
salt.
rocks there. And I
That's
just,
right.
just
Green
You can
salt.
do it that way too. Yeah.
Realize water with little of the Himalayan salt in is more absorbable than water on its own. And water clusters form different as they're absorbed into the body, which are mineralized.
Yeah. that's
Water
right.
should be mineralized, it goes through the earth. But when we fluoride it and do different things than that, we destroy some of that. So we need to remineralize our waters.
That's the way of getting water into the cell wall is through salt rather than through just the pH of the water. Like that doesn't change that much the pH of your urine, for example, if you're just drinking the pH water that is alkaline. Instead, as Sam says, that you blend that with minerals, you get with the vegetables, you get the minerals from there, not fruits, vegetables.
Vegetables.
And that will alkalize your pH more than the best alkalized water that you can have.
becoming, you need a university degree just to eat.
We have made water complicated, it shouldn't be. Get the best, what we call whistle clean water you can, that's important. Use some form of filter, get the best whistle clean water, and then don't stress out after that. Just use a lot of vegetation, make it organic as you can. Vegetation, don't overjuice, don't overjuice, don't overjuice. Distilled water is the most whistle clean of all water, so then you're going to add some minerals to it. So you're going to take Himalayan sea salt and add it to when you drink it, as Dr. Lonnie Formaggio said, and or buy trace bins, a little liquid from Utah from the dry lake bed, and squeeze the liquid mineral, put mineral back in the water. That's how the electromagnetic current travels in water. Water comes alive with minerals, so if it's taken out from distillation to get crystal clean water, that's right. Now you've got to add minerals back to it to bring its life force back. I want to thank you very much. We have 3 samples of Greens Plus Extra Energy. I'd like to thank Dr. Lonnie Formaggio, Purnima Alvira. Stand up, please. Stand up, please. Stand up, please. Well, Consult Green Island, we're a little company in here, and we're really dedicated to your wellness. So thank you on behalf of all of us. Thank you. Consult Green Island with a lot of love. Thank you.